Got an International 2424 with a International 2000 loader and a 3120 backhoe. I'm going to be trying to document taking this off by myself and putting it on another 24 that actually runs. Right now I've got scaffolding set up above it. I'm hoping to be able to hoist the loader slightly up to where I can pull this tractor out and pull the other tractor underneath it. I have a chain wrapped around two arms of the loader and one at the top of the scaffolding. I'm hoping I can put a come along between them and raise this just enough to get the tractor out from underneath it. Now I'm going to just start finding all the bolts that need to be loosened and get a game plan. Okay, it looks like we've got a hydraulic pump on the front I'm going to have to remove, as well as the mount. We've got these two side brackets that are they don't actually attach physically to the frame of the loader. The loader just rests on them, but I need those brackets to go. Then the frame actually goes back and clamps around the axle. Got to remove those bolts. And then I've got these hydraulic lines that are actually going from my controller and back to the backhoe. So I have to investigate that a little bit. I'm going to have to remove those. Getting ready to remove the backhoe. I have a floor jack at each corner and then motorcycle jack on the bucket. Get ready to pop the pins and take it off first to be able to get to the brackets for the loader. So it looks like I have one hydraulic hose on the right side and two on the left side that I need to remove. I'm going to remove those right now. So I'm under the tractor right now with my head facing towards the backhoe and my feet towards the engine. I have the one hydraulic hose on my left and two on my right. Once I remove this, I have 4 pins, 2 on either side at the bottom, and then 2 on either side at the top. So I'm going to unhook these hoses and then take the pins out. So I've removed the 2 bottom pins and the hydraulic hoses on both sides. I thought there were 2 pins up at the top, but it turns out they are just a pivot point. It's not a pin you can knock out. It actually goes forward, I think, to these. I don't know if you can see it, the 2 nuts right back and on the back. So I'm going to loosen those nuts and see if that is the last 2 points. Got one of the 2 nuts off on the left side. The problem is these are meant to be taken off with the outriggers down to support the backhoe. I can't lower my outriggers right now because I don't have a running tractor for the hydraulic fluid, but I also can't because my bucket is being supported from the outriggers, so I can't even knock the pins out on the hydraulics to let it down. So I'm having to try to do this with an open-ended wrench. It's not the easiest thing I've done so far. Okay, I removed the 2 bolts on each side, and it appears as though we are loose from the tractor. I'm going to get ready and try to pull this tractor forward, see if it completely disconnects. Alright, the backhoe is now loose. I used the other tractor to pull it forward. As you can see, the 2 bottom pins go in a little notch, and then the top is held on by this piece that bolts through. And put the bucket back on. My plan is to let it rest on the bucket and teeter up the back side. I'm going to get started by taking the hoses off the hydraulic pump here on the front, and then I'll look at what other hoses I need to remove. I've unloosened all the hoses, and I'm under the tractor right now, and around each rear axle there's a U-bolt under each side. Once I loosen those, we should be good to go. Up until now today, everything's went pretty smooth. I've got 4 bolts, 2 on each side. This is actually the frame, holds the frame for the loader on. The nuts are off, it's just bolts in there, but they won't budge. I don't know what the deal is, but they have got to come off in order for this loader to go on another piece of equipment. So I've got them doused with penetrating oil, and I'll keep working. After I got the 4 bolts out of the back, just I guess just from 40 years of being on this tractor, it's kind of wedged on the brackets. So what I've did, I to come along on each side to the front of the bracket here and to the back of the sum frame, and I'm just hand cranking it forward. As you can see, each crank it goes forward just a little bit. I'm having to do it equal on both sides so I don't get it wrapped. I have the subframe loose from the axle on both sides. I've got a chain now hooked to my other 2424. I'm going to try to start pulling this tractor back, and once the subframe gets up to the front axles, I'll have to start cranking it up onto the scaffolding. A little more lift to get the subframe over the front tires. Hook come-alongs on each side of the bottom set of scaffolding to the bottom front of the subframe. One thing I did mess up on is I missed one hydraulic hose. So I ripped it. The good thing is I'm planning on replacing all the hydraulic lines anyway, so if you were wanting to reuse those, you'd be in trouble. So I now have the loader still attached to the subframe for the loader and backhoe, supported from the scaffolding, ready to mount it on the other tractor. Now I still have to take the hydraulic pump and the weights and mounting bracket off the donor tractor, but that's going to have to wait a couple weeks.